Thank you everyone for joining. We are in the month of Nisan, on a few days before the starting of the month of Nisan. And today we'll speak a little bit about the laws of Pesach. 1 minute. And we'll talk about a little bit about this special Shabbat which we have in this coming Shabbat. 1 minute, let me open this, my notes. Okay. So I will start with a few things important for Pesach. We know that the halachot of Pesach should be learned about 30 days from the Pesach is coming, which means from the time of once we entering to the immediately after we should start immediately to learn and repeat the laws of Pesach. So we'll talk a little bit about some important things which we need to know for the month of Pesach. So the month of Pesach, the month of Nisan, it's a very special month. First of all, in all these months, from the beginning to the end, which is there is no other month like that, besides in Tishrei, which we're starting immediately, which is almost all the month of Tishrei, that we are not saying Tachanun. We're not reciting Tachanun. We not say the part of the tefillah that we say Tachanun, and we not even fast. Beside, if we are, there is two types of fast which allowed in month of Pesach. One is Ta'anit Bechorot, which is the evening of Pesach. If we will not do, there is a minhag, that is a memory of the plague of Bechorot, the firstborn, which saved from the plague, the last plague in Egypt. We are fasting. Usually the firstborn in every house should fast in Pesach Eve, which means in the day of Pesach, in the morning, before we receiving the Pesach, he should fast. Which means if anyone didn't do, he the firstborn, and only we're talking about male firstborn, he has to fast in this day, unless he's participating in some holy feast. What it's considered holy feast? Like, for example, Brit Milah, it's considered holy feast. And many other mitzvah, feast which connected to mitzvah. And the minhag is that in every synagogue, they're doing in the morning of Erev Pesach, which means in Pesach Eve, we're doing Ta'anit Bechor, we're doing a Siyum Masechet, which means one of the people complete tractate in the Shas, in the Talmud, and this is also considered a happy occasion, and hence he can give some food for the others, and people can break the fast and get relief from this fast. So this is the first rule which is important to know. Second, since the day of Nisan come, we have a command to recite a special bracha. What is this special bracha? It's called the blessing on the trees. The minhag is to go out in the month of Nisan and search a tree which started to give fruit. And I'm emphasize on started, which means it's not yet giving, it's not already giving fruit fully, but we can see that some fruit starting to grow. Then we are blessing, because it's the time of the spring, we're blessing the special blessing for this occasion. And what is the blessing is, Baruch Ata Hashem Elokeinu Melech Haolam, Shelo Chiser Be'olamo Klum, וברא בו בריות טובות ואילנות טובות ליהנות בהן בני אדם. I will translate. Bless you Hashem, King of the universe, that he didn't miss in anything in his world, and he created in it a good creatures and good trees to enjoy the man. This is a blessing which we need to recite in month of Nisan. It's also one of the laws of Nisan. Then we have the minhag. Every one of us should make sure to start cleaning the house. What is the reason of we are cleaning the house? The reason of cleaning the house is there is a forbidden in Torah that during the laws of Pesach will possess any kind of leavened food, and there is a double forbidden there, which is said bal yira'eh or bal yimatzeh, which means it should not be seen and it should not be found. Which means in every one of us in the house, it's not just that we're not allowed to eat the chametz during Pesach, we should also remove all the chametz from our house. Now, we know it's very complicated to remove the entire chametz from the house. So hence, people are cleaning much in advance, go area by area to check that there is no chametz in the house. Now, as much as we're cleaning more, we know also that there are chametz which is there all the time in our house. For example, the utensils. Or, for example, that we have possessing some expensive alcohol that we don't want to remove from the house, or more expensive leavened food that we cannot allow ourselves to throw it out. So what is a solution for that? Because the utensils, for example, are already observed a lot of chametz because we use them, a lot of leavened food because we use them several times. So what is the solution? So about the utensils, if a person wants to use it in Pesach, we will talk about this in a minute, there is a way to kosher the utensil for Pesach. But if someone don't wish to do that, and it just means he doesn't want to use the same utensils in Pesach, he need to do the same thing what he will do with expensive leavened food which he doesn't want to throw, which is to sell it to a non-Jew, which means the forbidden of the Torah that we will not be seen, that the chametz will not be seen and will not be possessed, which means it should not be in our ownership. However, if we sell it to someone else, it's not ours anymore. And also then it's not so simple to keep it in the house. So what usually done? We are arranging one area or two area in our house, which we keep there in a cupboard, all the chametz which we are intended to sell to the non-Jew. And we closing the place, better to close it with some sticker or some lock and mark it as a sold place. We are not only selling the chametz, and we're selling also the same location which we kept the chametz. So we are not possessing the chametz. What is the process actually of selling the chametz? We are all of us take registered or authorized the rabbi to sell on your behalf the chametz. The rabbi sit and meet one non-Jew. Every year we're doing it, we're sitting with a non-Jew, and we are making an agreement that all this chametz is become his. And it's a real agreement, which means, in the meaning of that if he will decide that he wants to take the chametz, he can do. Then he giving some money to the rabbi. And the same chametz is become his own. Now, the rabbi meet him after Pesach, and then he buy from him back the chametz. He's giving him money, usually in order that the non-Jew will feel that he wants to do that. You're giving him in the second time more money that he put in the beginning, so he feels that he earned. And if he earned, which means he really did a business here, he really transact for the chametz. And hence it's become his chametz. And this is a halacha, and there is a specific way to do it. Not everyone knows how to do that because there are many, many details when it's how to do the agreement with to sell the chametz. And hence, everyone should not try to do it by himself. Just better to authorize the rabbi, that the rabbi will sell in his behalf the chametz. Anyhow, we understand that we should not possess chametz in our house unless it's in specific areas which sold during the Pesach. Now, what happened if someone forgot to use to sell the chametz? So as per halacha, it's very problematic. He will not be able to use the same chametz again after Pesach. He will be in a situation which his chametz is not allowed to be used or to be enjoyed even. What does it mean not to be enjoyed? He could not even sell it to someone. He will not be able to use it. And hence, it's very important that every one of us will take care to sell the chametz before the Pesach. And to make sure that before the Pesach, that we complete all the details to clean all the places, and besides these places which we're planning to sell, that will not be chametz in any places in the house. And the Chachamim used to do a lot of efforts for that. In the last night before Pesach, it's called the night of dikat chametz, night of checking the chametz. Every one of us had a command to come to his house to check with the light of a candle. Why in the light of a candle? Because when you are checking with the light of a candle, you can check in the corners better. Which means some opinions say that you can use a flashlight because it's doing the same work. But anyhow, it's needed to be checked in the corners well with proper light, and the mitzvah is to do it in the night. In some of the reasons that in the night you can check much better because you are using a fire or electric light, which is effective more to check the corners. While in the morning, most of the people will rely on the sunlight and will not be able to look properly, and because they will not use a candle, they will not look properly in the corners. But the mitzvah is to check again in every corner, in every drawer, in the closets, in our bags, in our car also. We should not forget anything, any kind of chametz, not in our car, not in our closet, anything, to remove everything. If someone, for example, had a business, which the business have chametz, the same rule. Any places which we have chametz, we should remove it or sell it. Many places in Israel, you will go today, you will go to supermarkets, which they have, you will see during the Pesach, suddenly half of the supermarket get covered with some papers, and it's marked like sold to a non-Jew, so no one can take from this shelf anything. But there are some shelves which all the one second, my father calling me. אבא, אני באמצע שיעור. So, I'm sorry. Father, I have to answer. It's a mitzvah of kibud horim. Anyhow, so every one of us should know that in every place which we have, in our yard, in our car, everywhere we're removing the chametz, and if we're planning to sell it, we have to store it in a special place. Now, besides this, every one of us need to clean the kitchen for Pesach. What is the process of cleaning the kitchen for Pesach? So the kitchen is a place which we are using a lot of leaven and food. And obviously, it's in every corner. So how we kosher the Pesach in order to use it during the time of during the time of Pesach. So the process is as follows. We first of all obviously clean everywhere the marble, whatever, or the iron, wherever we are cutting and doing the work, we're cleaning very well. After that, we need to pour hot water on this boiling water on the shell, on all the area where might be touched by chametz. How we do that? We boiling the water. Some opinions even are more strict, and they demand that it will not be only we'll pour the water, we'll pour hot water, but we'll pour it after we take a stone, which we boil. The stone is super hot already. We kept it on the fire, and then we take the boiling water and we pouring it above the stone, in order that the waters which will come on the area which we want to kosher for Passover will be cleaned thoroughly. Now, what is this actually does this to pouring a boiling water? When we pour a boiling water, we actually doing a chemical reaction, because everything that enter and touch the area of the cooking while it was during a hot liquid will come out in the same way, because every glass, for example, if I use the glass for hot water, and hence it will observe something. Always it will observe something, and you cannot use the same glass unless and until you make sure it's not just cleaned well. It's also that whatever is swallowed in the glass or in the area in the kitchen or in any kind of utensils will come out. Now, the rule is kevol or ken polto, which means as much as it's how it's entered, it will go out. If the use of the utensil was only for a cold items, for example, I was drinking a beer. Beer, it's chametz, glass forever, but it's a cold chametz. It's not a hot chametz, which means it's not hot in temperature. Yes, it contains some alcohol, but a beer or whiskey usually served cold. Now, in order to take this glass and make it kasher for Passover, you need to take the glass and wash it in cold water. It will be enough. Why? Because the use of the glass before was cold. Now, and in the same way, which means, and the rule is how it's entered, this is how it will go. Now, we'll continue. Let's now talk about utensil of using hot. Again, what type of hot? If it's a serving plate, which usually the heat is less than boiling temperature, also you don't need that the water which will touch it will be in a boiling temperature. But if it's utensil, for example, that we are cooking in it, at the time of its boiling, it's observed, and because it was very, very hot, it's only can come out from the vessel when you boiling it again with the hot water and removing it out. But how is the process to do it? It's not that we are filling the utensil and we are boiling it. It's not. We usually take big utensil, which is already kosher for Passover, or it's a new utensil, and we are keeping all the other utensils inside, and we boiling the water. We first boiling the water and make sure that they reach to a boiling temperature, and we can see the water bubbling in a full strength. Then you can we putting the utensil inside for a few seconds, It needs to be also for a few seconds, so it's the oil, the fatty part will succeed to melt, and then you take it out and dip it in a cold water. Then the utensil, it's kasher for Passover. Now, obviously, not everyone can do it, but we know, but in all the synagogues here in Bombay, we are creating, not in, I think in Tiferet Israel they do, and in Tane they do a central kosherizing. So which means everyone that wants, they will create, usually they take one big pot, and to help to the people who wants to kosher their utensils. So everyone that wants to kosher his utensils, usually better to not do it by himself, call to one of the synagogue, either in Tiferet Israel, I think there Sharon is doing it every year, and in Tane Shimshon is doing, and if someone needs help from us, also we are here. Please contact us. We will try to help and do the koshering for you, because it will be much more simple. Anyhow, we have to kosher these utensils. There is another level of koshering, which is something which was on bare fire, that the way that is cooked in a naked fire. For example, we have iron which is we are using for making a barbecue. Okay, this is definitely touched. If it's touched any kind of chametz, it's the only way to remove this chametz. It's by bringing it to the same temperature that it was, which means to put the same iron in a very strong fire until it's become red and some spark coming out from it. Then you know that it's removed already whatever chametz it's swallowed. So there are 3 levels: cold water, even 3/4. And the same thing is for the area where we are cooking in the kitchen. Because the area of the cooking of the kitchen, sometimes we're using a hot water, sometimes we're using a cold water. It's touch all the temperature, but it's usually not touch in usually it's not touch in a very strong boiling temperature like utensils which is on the gas. Or which is on the fire. So what we do, so most of the opinions say that it's enough to just boil water and pour it above the area of the kitchen, above the sink, above everything that might touch it chametz, and pour enough water, and then you can clean it, and then after that the place become kasher. There are more minhagim in this. The people wants to be strict that it's not enough for them. Not that it's not enough, because it's need to be careful in Pesach. In Passover, it's very important to be careful because of the laws of Pesach are really touching the soul of the person. And we will talk about this a little bit later. But we need to know and to remember that as much as we are strict in how we observe the Pesach, it's much good, better for us. So about the sink, so about koshering the Pesach, the kitchen. So the second stage, most of the people in the Haredim and the Datiim in Israel, not even Haredim, most of the people, after they koshering the kitchen, they pour in hot water and make everything kasher. And it's important also to put hot water on the pipe itself, on everything. In every corner which you see that might be touch chametz, pour hot water there. This is the step which is necessary. After that, they are usually covered it with, many people cover it with aluminum foil or plastic sheets. We, for example, at home do two covering. We cover with aluminum foil, and then above this we put plastic sheets that nothing from the cooking of Pesach will touch by mistake by anything that might be in chametz. So usually we cover it either with aluminum foil, either with plastic sheet, and some people do both. So this is about koshering the kitchen. And all the utensils of the chametz should be, and it's very important, if you are not going to use this utensil in Pesach and you're not kasherized it, keep it in a store which by mistake you will not touch it, because again, this is forbidden by itself even to possess it. So we have to keep it in a special place which is dedicated for the whom we're selling the chametz. So hence, this is very, very important to store all the utensils in the right place. Besides this, we of course need to clean everything in all the rooms and everything that might be in the entire chametz. Some people even make more strict that with the broom that they clean the house in Pesach, they are replacing for Pesach. Why? They don't want that maybe some chametz was remaining in the broom. But if, and the other people that were not so strict, at least make sure to remove everything from the broom, all the remains of the cleaning of Pesach, because obviously it touched some chametz. So many times it's remain even there. Obviously, who have kids should very much to check his kids' games, because usually kids playing, eating, and the chametz can come to everywhere. What we eating in Pesach? So in Pesach we're not eating irrelevant food, but what we do eat. So everything that is not chametz, that is not done from 5 types of crops, which can be chametz, is kasher lePesach if it is done in a process which nothing else mixed. The problem is that today many of the ready things that we're buying in the supermarket are done with a process which is some additives are remain, and many of these additives sometimes are mixed with some ingredients or more of chametz. For example, I've seen raisins which people are put some flour above it to keep it dry, that it will not puff again. And we've seen many things. I've seen sugar even that used in bags, or they used with some chemical that usually come from to keep it white or to keep it floury. And sometimes I've seen also gloves which coming with a stretch. Many gloves, people are using gloves in Pesach. People are using gloves for cleaning. People are using gloves for making the for making food, but they don't know that the gloves itself already covered with stretch, and so you need to make sure all these things to see that there is nothing that you buy at home. If you buy a vegetable or you buy something ready, better to buy, which means everything that is ready made from a factory, you need to make sure it's coming from a kosher place factory. For example, we take the sugar before the Pesach, the Passover, and we cook it to make it as a syrup. Why? Because we know there is a fear that it might be used in a factory here in a such way they added something. And we have seen that, and I spoke with, for example, with Lubavitcher and few other mashgichim that definitely told me that in the sugar process could be a situation which they adding something. So what is we need to do? So especially if we're not getting kosher for Passover sugar from Israel, which is hard to get here in India, so we do that. So we are cooking the sugar before Pesach, whatever we think that we might need for Pesach. Why? What is the reason? The halakha explained that chametz, a leavened food in Passover, during Passover, cannot be nullified even in 1,000 times. However, other forbiddance, as we know there is a rule with that, for example, if someone cooked a kosher food and some drop of non-kosher food entered and mixed in this food, what it's make to the food. So the halakha explained that if there is 60 times against the same drop in the same mixture, it will be kasher, and you don't need to throw the food. And the same, it's applied for chametz that cooked before Passover. Which means, once you cooked the chametz, and it was 60 times against what is there in the entire solution, there is a non-chametz, and it's already a mixture, and it's become a one thing. This one thing considered to be a non-chametz thing. And hence, once it will enter to Pesach, it's already non-chametz syrup, let's call it like that. And this is the reason that we are, for example, cooking the sugar before Passover. I know it sounds, wow, a lot of crazy, but this is where the level is of keeping the chametz. Now, what about medicines? Medicines in Passover. Medicines there are 4 categories. Medicines which is for a dangerous illness, and in this it's also conclude any blood pressure, which it's something which is a ill that can be a dangerous, or any kind of this way. This allowed in Passover. You don't need to any kind of permission, you don't need to choke, you just need to swallow, you take your tablets, and this is not a problem. But what about someone which is not in a risk life, meaning just having a pain or something, it's not life-threatening, not life-threatening situation. What is about them? Then it's also divided for 2 categories. Something which you swallow, or something which is that you are either taste like suck it like a baby that take a candy. There are some kind, for example, for a throat, there are some kind of candies like that these are for the throat, or there are some kind other, for example, there are medicines that it's a powder that we're mixing in a water. This is not allowed in Pesach. What will be allowed in Pesach? Only what you can swallow and should not feel any taste of it. This, if there is an illness, which is not a dangerous illness, and you need a pill, you need to make sure it's not something that you have a taste, you not enjoy from it in any manner, you just take the pill and put it inside. And the 4th item, which is, we talked about someone that sick in a danger, and someone that is sick in not in danger sickness, and we talked about 2 types of categories: pills and the other flavoring medicine. So the flavoring medicine will not be allowed. The pills will be allowed. Now, what about vitamins? So vitamins you cannot take only if it's kasher for Passover. You cannot use any vitamins which we are buying during the year if it's not kosher for Passover. Why? Because vitamin is in the halacha, it's considered as a food, because it's a food additives. You can, it's true, it's not, you're doing it for your health, but it's not a medicine. Hence, vitamins and this kind of things we're not using in Passover. Make sure we need to make sure that our entire clothing and our towels, all the fabrics that might be observed chametz, also cleaned, well washed, and laundry before the Pesach, because chametz if we enter with the clothing of that is having chametz in Pesach, we are still possess the chametz in Pesach. Okay, this is for the laws of halachot of Pesach. We'll say now something little bit about the coming Shabbat. Just before that, there is a time in the Passover Eve we should stop eat chametz approximately at 9:30 in the morning. Even it's about 10, but we will publish the exact times. But in the morning already, we cannot eat chametz after 9:30, 10 o'clock. That's it. It's the last moment to eat chametz. Around 11 o'clock, we should already remove all the chametz of our house and burn it or throw it. Which means we need to make sure that we are much before prepared for the Pesach, and this is there are various reasons for that, but the idea is that we are already, since morning, already we are getting ourselves ready to the Chag, and we are preparing ourselves to receive the Chag while we are already clean totally from chametz. This is the halacha of that. Another one thing, no one should, another comment is there, it's not a comment, it's halacha, that from midday in Erev Pesach, this year I think Pesach is coming on Monday morning, I'm not sure, Sunday evening or Monday evening, I think Monday evening, so which means the same Monday, we allow to work, to go to do our business, to work until the midday. The midday, it's approximately 12 o'clock, 12:30. אני בשיעור.
וואו.
אני בשיעור. Anyhow, so this is, wait, no. אני בשיעור. Anyhow, sorry for that. What to do? My phone is not stop. This is another halacha. We spoke about what we saw at the time that we should not work. Another one thing, it's important to know, we're not eating matzah in the days before Pesach. Some of the people said already from now, from Purim, we should not consume any matzah. We keep it for the Pesach, but especially the halacha speaks in the same day. In the same day of Pesach evening, we not touch the matzah until the night. Why? To make sure that the taste of the matzah will come during the first time which we bless on the matzah. Now, this is for the halachot of Pesach. We'll touch some idea for this parasha. So, this parasha, it's Parashat Shmini. In this parasha, we also have a special maftir. It's one of the 4 special parashot which we spoke about, Zachor, and we spoke about Shkalim, Zachor, Para, and this parasha, it's called Parashat HaChodesh. Parashat HaChodesh, we are reading some paragraph. This parasha is always read before the Rosh Chodesh of Nisan. Next week is Rosh Chodesh Nisan. The month of Nisan is started, the month of the miracles. And the last Shabbat before this parasha, which means the Shabbat which we are blessing the month of Nisan, we are adding another paragraph to our Torah, to our weekly Torah reading. And this is called Parashat HaChodesh. HaChodesh, which means the month. This parasha is a special parasha which speaks about the first command that Am Yisrael was received from God, and they received it in Egypt. The command, it was before they came out from Egypt. It was just before the 10th plague was happening. Hashem came to Moshe and told him, "Chodesh hazeh hu Rosh Chodashim." This is the first of the month. We know that there is another month and another head of the year, which is the month of Tishrei. We are doing the celebration of Rosh Hashanah, and we're praying. It's a day of judgment, and after the day of atonement. Yes, it is there. But there is also the Rosh Chodashim, and we will try to understand what is special about the month of Nisan that is also called head of the month. Moreover, that many of the laws for example, counting years for kings and many other things, are working as per the year counting which started from Nisan, not as per the counting that's starting by Tishrei. And second thing, we see the words of the Torah when we come to Mount Sinai. The Torah said, "B'chodesh hashlishi," in the third month from where? Nisan, Iyar, Sivan, which means the Torah counting the month of Nisan as the head of the year. And also when the Torah giving us all the commands of Rosh Hashanah or Sukkot or Yom Kippurim, it's called in the Chodesh HaShvi'i, which means in the 7th month, because it's 7th to Nisan. For the Torah eyes, even that the Torah give us the command to do the Rosh Hashanah and to do Yom Kippurim in the 7th month, still, as per the count, it's always Nisan is the 1st of the month. And it's very interesting to see that the first Rashi of the Torah, this is based on discussion of the Rebbe, that the first Rashi of the Torah, Rashi was the explanator, the main commentator of the Torah. In the first Rashi's first commentary which he gives the Torah starts, "Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim v'et haaretz." In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, and that's why. And we, as per the Torah, we know it's happening. It's as per the 7th. It was the 7th month, and in that day, and Rashi said, why the Torah started from here? The Torah should start from the first command, and after that, it tells us the story of the creation of the world. Why the Torah choose to start it from the creation of the world? The Rashi explained there the answer there, Mishum koach ma'asav higid le'amo, that he tells the power of his actions to his nation, that no one will be able to tell them that you are taking our land, etc., etc. But the Rebbe emphasized that we see that there are two beginnings. The beginning, as per the creation of the heaven and the earth, Bereshit bara Elokim, and there is another beginning, the beginning of the command that Am Yisrael received commands from God, which is actually became a nation. Because before he received any command, it was not a nation of God. But there is two beginnings. And the beginning of the first command of Am Yisrael received, it's this month, to count the months of Nisan as the head of the months, as the first of the months. And the Rebbe explained that this is, as per another midrash, that Hashem creates the world, and he also creates Yaakov and his son, and this one exists because of this one. What it means? Which means that Hashem really creates the heaven and earth only in order to execute his wish. And what is his wish? That the people in this land, in the earth, will go and behave as per his way. And what is his way? We know he's righteous, he's merciful, he's doing the Torah, he's doing the mitzvot. He himself, Hashem himself, doing mitzvot, he's doing charity to the poor people, he takes care about the sick people, even he forgives to the people who did mistakes. Every one of us, everything that Hashem do, we need to learn from him and do the same thing. And when this actually wish is getting fulfilled, when Am Israel bringing down the divinity, bringing down the Torah, study Torah, talk about the wish and the wisdom of God in this world, execute it by their action, and this way they actually bring the fulfillment of the purpose of the creation of the world. And hence it's understood. There are פסוקים, לא בריתי יומם ולילה חוקות שמיים וארץ לא שמתי. If I would not keep my covenant, I would not create the heaven and the earth. Which means the ability of God to exist and to fulfill his wish in the world is through the Torah. And hence, this is the beginning of all. This is the real beginning, because when a person builds a house, we can say the first day of his house, it was when he started to build it or when he started to plan it. No, but the first day of his house is actually when the reason created when he needed the house. Which means, once Hashem wanted that will be a people who are doing the Torah and mitzvot, this was a good reason to create the entire world. And hence, this is the beginning of all the months. We, Am Israel, have a great job. We have a great job to bring down the purpose of all the creation. By behaving as per the rules of the Torah and the mitzvot, by doing what God wants, we actually creating a new the purpose of the reality. And hence it's the beginning of everything. And this is in the month of Nisan. And hence the redemption was in Nisan. Because the idea of us coming out of slavery and going directly to learn the words of God, this is the purpose of the creation of the world. And hence the month of Nisan is the month when we got the first command of Am Israel, is the month which we are, all of us, going and fulfilling the purpose. And hence it's called the first of all the months. So Be'ezrat Hashem, we wish all of you Pesach Kasher and Sameach. And I really wish you everyone to succeed to do kosher kasher v'sameach, and you enjoy the Pesach, and you will feel a freedom. And Be'ezrat Hashem, all of us should see Mashiach this year, and already we'll celebrate in Yerushalayim, and it will be a little bit different. We'll have a different headache how to organize ourselves in Yerushalayim, but better to do the Pesach in Yerushalayim, to do the offering of Pesach. So Be'ezrat Hashem, we are wishing you Pesach Kasher v'sameach. If anyone has any question about how to keep one of the laws of Pesach, please do not hesitate to call me, to call Elisheva, ask us any questions that you need. If you need any help with kosherizing your kitchen, let us know. Be'ezrat Hashem, we will try here to help everyone. Be'ezrat Hashem, we are expecting the matzot also next week to arrive, and we will inform everyone. Everyone should, whoever need matzah, please contact us to the details which Elisheva put in the message. Thank you very much, and Chag Pesach.
Thank you very much. Toda Rabba.
Toda Rabba.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Papa, can I take your mobile?